it's about muscles. Take out your coat. And with attention. And listen with attention.
Masseter muscle.
Masseter muscle. You can see this is masseter muscle. If you want, you can show here the masseter muscle. Do you see? This is temporal muscle. Is here, or temporal muscle on the model. You can show on the model or on the table, like you want. Do you see?
Okay. Lateral pterygoid muscle.
Musculus pterygoideus lateralis. You can see this is lateral pterygoid muscle. It includes the upper head and lower head. And this is pterygoid medial muscle, only here.
Frontal belly.
Да, можно вот там и еще вот таком там лоточек. Только у меня вопрос. Вот этот не мой лоток,
есть?
а?
Куколки у вас есть там?
Есть там куколка. Или в том, пожалуйста.
Epicranius.
Frontal belly of the epicranius. This is occipital belly of the epicranius, only here. Do you see?
Epicranial aponeurosis.
Do you see the frontal belly, auricle muscles, and occipital belly complete, and do the pleurotic cap?
Corrugator supercilii muscle.
Corrugator supercilii muscle. Do you see the muscle which is placed around of the eyebrow, and do you see collects the skin medially? Do you see?
Levator labii superioris.
Levator labium superioris, from infraorbital margin behind of the levator angulus oris muscle. This is levator angulioris. Do you see? And this levator labium superior. This is levator angulus oris into the skin of the angle of the mouth. Levator angulioris. Do you see? Here is levator labium superior.
Zygomaticus major.
Zygomatic minor, zygomatic major. Zygomatic minor is longer narrow, zygomatic major is shortly wider.
Risorius muscle.
Risorius muscle. Risorius muscle is absent. Do you see? It is placed here. Do you see? Risorius, laughing muscle. And do you see? If the person has folds here, depressions here, this will be risorius or laughing muscle. If doesn't have, do you see? The depressions here are absent. Do you remember I said you? Try to laugh with your baby very often. You will train this muscle and will be depression. You will show here is risorius muscle. Because if the muscle will be trained, do you see? It will be working and depressions will be very contrast. If will be absent, do you see? Not depression.
Depressor anguli oris.
Depressor anguli oris, do you see? This is depressor anguli oris, do you see here? This is depressor labium inferior. Here is better, my dear. Look please here. Here is better. This is depressor anguli oris, do you see? Here depressor labium inferior. This is mental muscle. Musculus mentalis, musculus depressor labium inferior, musculus depressor anguli oris.
Orbicularis oris.
Orbicularis oris, orbicularis oculi.
Mylohyoid muscle.
Mylohyoid muscle. This is mylohyoid muscle. Do you see? Below than which is anterior belly of the digastric muscle. This, do you see, deeply posterior belly. Do you see? This is posterior belly. Posterior belly of the digastric muscle is crossed by stylohyoid. Stylohyoid is superficially. Posterior belly of the digastric muscle, do you see, is behind of the stylohyoid. This is the anterior belly.
Stylohyoid. Sternohyoid.
Sternohyoid. You can see. Do you see medially begins and goes laterally? This is sternothyroid. This begins medially and goes laterally. This is sternothyroid because it goes to the thyroid cartilage. Laterally begins and goes to the hyoid bone, the sternohyoid. This is sternohyoid. This is sternothyroid. This is, do you see, inferior belly. This is superior belly of the omohyoid. Superior belly, inferior belly of the omohyoid.
Calenus anterior.
Scalenus anterior, medial, posterior. This is levator scapular. Look please here. Scalenus, you can see. Anterior, do you see? medial posterior. Scalenus anterior, medial posterior. This from upper angle of the scapula, elevator scapula.
Platysma muscle.
Platysm only here. Platysm muscle only here.
Sternocleidomastoid muscle.
Sternocleidomastoid muscle. This is sternocleidomastoid muscle.
Trapezius muscle.
Trapezius muscle. Here is trapezius muscle. Here do you see is thoracic part of it, do you see central part of it, upper part. This is trapezius muscle.
Latissimus dorsi.
This is latissimus dorsi. If you want, you will show latissimus dorsi here. If you want, latissimus dorsi is here. It attaches to the humerus, да?
Rhomboid major muscle.
Rhomboid minor, rhomboid major, only here. This is rhomboid minor, this is rhomboid major. Behind of the rhomboid minor and major, serratus superior posterior. Here is serratus posterior inferior. Serratus posterior superior, serratus posterior inferior. Serratus posterior superior is placed deeply than the rhomboid minor and rhomboid major. Muscles of the back, they are placed by some layers. Superficially will be, do you see, trapezius. Behind of it will be rhomboid minor, rhomboid major, and deeply will be serratus posterior superior. Serratus posterior superior.
Levator scapulae.
Elevator scapular, I showed you here, elevator scapular, and here you can see elevator scapular. Do you see?
Erector spinae.
Erector spine muscle, musculus erector spina.
Splenius capitis and cervicis muscle.
Splenius capitis and cervixis. Oh, this is, do you see? This is longus colli. This is longus capitis. Do you see? This is on anterior side. On the posterior side, no, behind, deeply than this will be splenius capitis, splenius colli. Mark, please. I will show you later. I will find some preparat. Mark, please.
Write the number 40.
Splenius colli, splenius capitis. It will be behind of the trapezius deeply.
Pectoralis major.
Pectoral major muscle, musculus pectoralis major, musculus pectoralis minor.
Serratus anterior.
This, do you see, is this is serratus anterior muscle. You can see the 9 teeth, do you see, attached to the ribs. It begins from internal side of the medial margin of the scapula. It begins from the scapula and separates and directs by 9 teeth to the 9 ribs of the thoracic cage, except 11th and 12th. Together we have 12 ribs. Do you see? It begins from medial margin of the scapula, separates, and by 9 teeth goes to the ribs and attached before cartilages.
Internal intercostal muscle.
You can see, you can see, here will be internal intercostal muscle, here will be external intercostal muscle. External, do you see, it will begin from, do you see, lower margin of the any upper rib attaches to the, by mobile pointing to the lower rib. Internal will begin from lower margin and will, from upper margin of the lower rib and attach to the lower margin of the rib which is above. This will be external intercostal, here will be internal intercostal.
Lumbar part of the diaphragm.
This is lumbar part of the diaphragm. This is costal part of the diaphragm. These are sternal parts. Sternal, right, left, costal, right, left. This, do you see, is a lumbar part.
Lumbocostal triangle.
Lumbocostal triangle right, lumbocostal triangle left. Sternocostal triangle, do you see, right, sternocostal triangle left.
External oblique muscle of the abdomen.
musculus obliquus abdominis externus. This is musculus obliquus abdominis externus. Do you see? Here, muscular fibers. Here, do you see? Musculus obliquus abdominis internus. Here, do you see the transverse position of the muscular fibers? This is transverse. I will repeat. Do you see horizontal way? Transverse. You can see from lower to upper oblique internal, from upper to lower oblique external. This is rectus abdominal muscle. You can see here in the center, you can see the rectus muscle, which divides by, do you see, tendons into the portions. We can contract the whole muscle, we can contract by portion if it does the fractional extension.
Quadratus lumborum.
Musculus quadratus lumborum. This is from 12th rib to the iliac crest. Here is quadratus lumborum behind of the peritoneum. From 12th rib to the iliac crest.
Inguinal canal.
Look please here. This is superficial ring of the inguinal canal, like I show you. This is inguinal canal. And here you will show laterally than the lateral umbilical fold will be deep ring. Laterally than the lateral umbilical fold, and lateral umbilical fold, do you see, it is formed by peritoneum, which covers epigastric inferior artery. Laterally will be depression. Lateral umbilical fossa in which is placed deep ring. Here will be inguinal canal. Here will be superficial ring.
Subscapularis muscle.
This is subscapular muscle, musculus subscapularis.
Supraspinatus muscle.
Supraspinatus muscle. This is spine of the scapula. Here will be supraspinatus. Here will be infraspinatus.
Teres major muscle.
Latissimus dorsi, teres major subscapular. Latissimus dorsi, teres major subscapular.
Teres minor muscle.
Teres minor. My dear, not. Lupus here. Do you see upper end? My dear, do you see fourth? This is teres minor, below teres major.
Deltoid muscle.
Musculus deltoidus, cap for the shoulder.
Coracobrachialis.
You can see this is biceps, do you see? And together with it to the coracoid process goes coraca brachialis from medial anterior third of the arm. This is coraca brachialis. Together with short head of the biceps, it begins from coracoid process. Here is long head of the biceps. This is whole biceps. This is coraca brachial. This is musculus. Here is musculus brachialis. Do you see? Here is musculus brachialis. Coraca brachialis begins from anterior medial third, goes upper. Do you see? The brachialis goes below.
Triceps brachii.
This is triceps brachial muscle.
Pronator teres muscle.
You can see this is teres pronator. This is flexor carpi radialis. Flexor digitorum, palmaris longus, excuse me, this is palmaris longus. Do you see? Flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor carpi ulnaris. Flexor carpi ulnaris, flexor carpi ulnar, flexor digital superficial, palmar long, flexor carpi radial, teres pronator. Superficial. This is, do you see, flexor pollicis longus, do you see? This is flexor digitorum profundus, flexor digital deep. And this is quadrate pronator. Do you see horizontal fibers? Quadrate pronator, flexor pollicis longus, flexor digitorum profundus. Do you see? These are deep anterior muscles. Brachioradialis. Do you see? This broken is brachioradialis. It starts from lower third of the arm, do you see, of the humerus and attaches to the styloid process. Here, do you see? You can see it begins from arm, from brachium. It's called brachioradialis.
Extends.
Is this one?
This is brachioradialis. Yes, this is brachioradialis. From arm to the styloid process of the radius.
Extensor carpi radialis brevis.
Extensor carpi radialis, caput brevis, caput longus. Long to the second metacarpal bone, short to the third metacarpal bone. This is tender of the extensor carpi radialis short. This is the tender of the extensor carpi radialis long.
Extensor carpi ulnaris.
Extensor carpi ulnar. Extensor digital. And here do you see, this will be extensor digital, this will be extensor digiti minimi.
Extensor indicis.
Look at, do you see extensor digital? Do you see extensor digital? Do you see? And here, deeply, extensor indexes. Do you see? Extensor digital, it divides into 3 tenders, and extensor indexes, this is extra tender for the second finger, besides extensor digital.
Abductor pollicis longus.
You can see this is abductor pollicis longus, this is extensor pollicis brevis, this is extensor pollicis longus. Extensor pollicis longus to the distal phalanx, extensor pollicis brevis, abductor pollicis longus, this is snuff box.
Psoas major.
Psoas major muscle. Here do you see from it separates, this is tender of the psoas minor. Students cut it out. This is psoas minor. Here is destruction of it. This is psoas major. You can see this, no, again the same. This is psoas major, this is psoas minor. Psoas minor to the iliopubic eminence, psoas major comes to the lesser trochanter of the femur.
Iliopsoas.
This is iliac muscle. This is iliac muscle. This is psoas major. Iliac muscle and psoas major together are called iliopsoas. Do you see? Here, iliopsoas. Here they go individually, here they go compactly.
Iliacus muscle.
Iliacus or iliac muscle.
Tensor fasciae latae.
You can see, this is broad fascia, fascia lata. And do you see here, you can see into it, do you see, completes the tensor fascia lata muscle. Do you see? It, what does? It expands this fascia.
Gluteus maximus.
Gluteus maximus. This is cut above. No, on the right side. Yes, you can see. Do you see gluteus maximus? The corp will be only by this position on exam. Gluteus maximus you will show above.
Quadriceps femoris.
Quadriceps femoris. Quadriceps femoris. Quadriceps femoris. Now I will try to find. Here will be musculus piriformis, do you see? And here from spine will be gemelli inferior, gemelli superior. You will show from ischiatic tuber to the intertrochanteric crest. From ischiatic tuber to the intertrochanteric crest. Here, do you see? To this is greater trochanter, here is lesser. Behind will be intertrochanteric crest. From ischiatic tuber, do you see? Here is not ischiatic tuber. Begins muscle, and here do you see? This will be quadrate femoral musculus quadratus femoris.
Rectus femoris muscle.
This is rectus femoris. This is, do you see, intermedial vastus. This will be lateral vastus. This will be medial vastus. Medial vastus, rectus vastus, intermedial vastus, lateral vastus. They are called quadriceps femoris muscle.
Sartorius muscle.
Sartorius muscle crosses the femur from upper laterally to lower medially.
Adductor brevis muscle.
Adductor longus. Adductor brevis. Adductor magnus. Magnus brevis longus.
Gracilis muscle.
Gracilis muscle. This is gracilis muscle.
Pectineus muscle.
Musculus pectinus, behind of the vessels.
Biceps femoris.
Biceps femoris. This is biceps femoris. Do you see? This is biceps femoris. This is okay, this is gracilis, don't mix. And this will be semimembranosus and semitendinosus. Medially from back, you will expand with long tender, semitendinosus. Here, semimembranosus. Superficially and straightly medially is gracilis.
Tibialis anterior.
Tibialis anterior to the first metatarsal bone. Extends the digitorum longus, do you see? And deeply between them will be extensor hallucis longus. You can see tibialis anterior, extensor digital long, do you see? Extensor hallucis long. Extensor hallucis long is deep. Tibial anterior and extensor digital long, these are superficial.
Extensor digitorum brevis.
Extensor digitorum brevis, my dear. Why she included? You can see here from calcaneus tuber, do you see, will be extensor hallucis brevis. Here laterally, extensor digitorum brevis to the proximal phalanx. Extensor digitorum longus to the distal phalanx. Extensor, do you see, digitorum brevis to the proximal phalanx.
Peroneus longus.
Pyraneus longus, Pyraneus brevis.
Tibialis posterior.
You can see gastrocnemius, one head, another head. Do you see two heads? Soleus. Together they are called triceps sura. Two heads of the gastrocnemius, one head of the soleus, they will do triceps. Sura, this is leg from Greek. And they produce calcaneus tenda. Here, do you see, deeply will be tibial posterior. Here will be flexor digital long. Here will be flexor hallucis long. Flexor hallucis longus, flexor digitorum longus. Here, deeply in the center, tibialis posterior, in front of the tibial posterior artery. And here will be calcaneus tenda.
Abductor hallucis.
Adductor.
Abductor.
Abductor hallucis is here. Flexor hallucis, this is medial head, deeply lateral head.
Abductor digita minimi.
Laterally will be abductor digiti minimi, medially will be flexor digiti minimi.
Adductor canal.
Adductor canal. Femoral triangle, this is femoral triangle. By its tip, do you remember, together with saphenous nerve and femoral artery will go into the adductor canal.
Calcaneal tendon.
Triceps sura, two muscles complete into the calcaneus tenda.
Femoral triangle.
Femoral triangle. You can see sartorius, adductor longus, inguinal ligament, the borders of the femoral triangle.
Cruropopliteal canal.
Crus, leg, do you see? Cruropopliteal canal, in front of them the soleus. Do you see? Anterior wall will be tibial posterior, posterior wall will be soleus. It is placed on the crus, opens above into the popliteal fossa. It's called cruropopliteal canal.
Medial plantar groove.
No, do you see? Here in the center will be flexor digitorum brevis. Here will be abductor hallucis. Here will be abductor digiti minimi. Between flexor digitorum brevis and abductor hallucis will be medial groove. Between flexor digitorum brevis and abductor digiti minimi will be lateral groove.
Vascular space.
Vascular space, I explained it you for the exit of the femoral artery, for the visit of the femoral vein. Muscular space for the exit of the iliopsoas muscle and femoral nerve.
Popliteal fossa. Axillary fossa.
Fossa axillaris.
Quadrangular space.
You can see quadrigula. This is long head of the triceps. Medially will be triangular opening, laterally will be quadrigular. You can see the long head of the triceps, do you see, will be border between quadrigular and triangular. Quadrigular has, quadrigular and triangular, they have above subscapular, below teres major. Do you see? Lateral for the triangular will be long head of the triceps. For the quadrigular, it will be medial. And do you see, for the quadrigular will be surgical neck of the humerus. You can see, this is, do you see, long head of the triceps. Long head of the triceps. Do you see? From back of the arm, it comes to the scapula. And do you see, medially for the circumflex scapular artery will be triangular opening. Do you see, laterally will be the circumflex humeral posterior and axillary nerve. They will pass by quadrigular opening.
Radial groove.
Radial groove between brachioradialis, flexor carpi radialis. Median groove between flexor carpi radialis, flexor digitorum superficialis. Ulnar groove between flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor carpi ulnaris. Flexor carpi ulnaris, flexor digitorum superficialis. Ulnar groove. Flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor carpi radialis. Median groove. It is only in the lower third. And the long radial groove between flexor carpi radialis again and brachioradialis. Radial groove. Brachioradialis, flexor carpi radialis. The groove is radial. Do you see?
Muscles is over, madam.
Okay.